Okay, yeah, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a brief review of the Spy Humongous, the 6th episode of season 2 of Lower Decks. I always do just an overview review of stuff that's going on. The Lower Decks crew get assigned to sort of like KP duty, clean up artifacts and things the crew brought onto the ship, indicating they still collect stuff, even in the future. I guess that Ferengi influence I did that. And the Packlet. They're also the command crew, the captain and the other command crew beam down to the planet of the Packlids, where they encounter several Packlids that are sort of imitating space balls. Not the one with the biggest helmet is the leader, but they keep finding people with bigger and bigger helmets. Meanwhile, on the ship we have Boimler, who decides to go hang out with the red shirts, who in this universe aren't the red shirts from TOS that would all be like killed, but the red shirts from the Next Generation period that would all be like, we want to be commanders and whatever. And there's this sort of stuck up character who seems a cross between a guy we knew in college, and Mike, and a guy we knew in high school named Jamie. Who were there at the same time, the same college. After high school, they ended up meeting each other. I don't know if they met each other directly, but they were in the same. They probably did, and probably compared notes. Anyway, maybe not. But in this version, the guy is stuck up and self-centered and wants to be the captain. And he goes on through the whole story, like trying to convince Vollmer to look different and stuff. He then looks silly. They give him all muscly padding everywhere to make him like a first season TNG person. Pretty funny. They touch a bunch of artifacts and things that keep messing with them. They throw food and cake and stuff on each other. There's scenes where the silly things happen right out of Silly Track. There is even a reference to Starship Locations in this episode. So they're watching us. They're watching Sillian Space. They reference the Ventura in this episode. Well, it could be the Enterprise or the Ventura. They literally reference Sillian Space. So Mike McMahon is a fan of Silly Track, Starship Locations. So yes, his references the Ventura or Bonaventura. Yeah. So yeah. But he means Ventura as in Ventura, California, of course. It's another series class. But in our version, it would be a not a Cerritos California class ship, but it would just be the Ventura is our version of the Enterprise. So vicariously through the Packlids, they have a Packlid spy on the ship that is basically a Star Trek fan and goes in the orders thing and gets gift shop stuff, including the Cerritos thing, and disappears during the episode. They find out later that he's spaced himself at an airlock. It's right out of Silly Trek. That they recover him, and he admits that he was in the bathroom allegedly, but it was an airlock, and they make a Silly Trek joke right there at the end when they send the acting captain stuck up Mike guy to basically. They send him to. They could be making fun of Mike Melt, I guess. That'd be funny, but I don't think they are. I think it's just somebody else. So they make him acting captain, so they can immediately kick him out, have him go clean up number 15 airlock, which has the Packlet did something unmentionable down there. Yeah, ew. Gross. So yeah. And Tandy becomes a praying mantis or a scorpion, not a mantis, but a scorpion at one point. So. And that is also referenced in the Starship Locations pilot. That the Orions were scorpion-like or something. Originally, I don't know how that works. But a space cube apparently turns her into a scorpion. So they've got to change her back by having Boimler show up and do crazy things that make her laugh so that she can change her back. Because if she gets angry, she turns into a bug. Reminiscent of definitely not only Sillian Space, but a little bit of they're referencing some deep space stuff. They're referencing kind of Distant Destinies or Canary Space. They're referencing Space Vanguards too in there. The Queen thing and the whole like switching the Emperor thing and the takeover and the rebellion are Rebians basically. The Packlets in this are acting like Rebians from Space Vanguard, so they're watching Starcrackers. Awesome. It's only the 6th episode. A lot of stuff in here. Ventura is named after its California class in this version, so it is different. But that is interesting that they referenced that. Yeah, it is different. It's probably an extreme coincidence if you want to take it that way. But I take it like no, they know us. And they're just referencing us. They think we're more famous than we are, but we're not. We're not trying to be more famous. It's just 40,000 views and a channel with with only 100 or so, 120 or so actual followers. This channel's not that big, but there's a lot more views than the channel is big. Also, note that on YouTube we have they have a lot of ads. We don't put those up there. They're just there. We can't get rid of them. So they're there. We can't stop it, even though we don't monetize on the reviews channel. But the ads pop up anyway. It's not us. It's YouTube. We didn't get in trouble with anybody. But yeah, it's fun that they referenced Sillians. This episode was a Silly Trek episode. It's right up there with G1, The Right Hand of Libyan episode. Short story written by Mark's Cards, in which the replicator malfunctions and shoots the peas and the blue plate at Data and Picard. And at one point, the slop ends up on his head. That happens. So, because the replicator's malfunctioning, it's the food service moron robo slop andriotic server. Because throwing cream pie-like substances in someone's face is funny and also kind of dirty. Double entendre, because it's all creamy and white, and sticky. But yes, and of course the guy at the end red shirt guy is humiliated for being a dork, but is in no way referencing. We did not write this episode, but it's interesting that there's a lot of stuff that is on the same wavelength. I'm sure it was not actually about Mike from Evergreen, but no, I'm sure it was. But that would be interesting. Could be Mike McMahon is making fun of himself, and it's another Mike. It's the producer. Could be that. Could be making fun of himself, which would be self-deprecating, and that's the best kind of humor. It's the kind of humor that makes fun of yourself. Making fun of others isn't so funny, but making fun of yourself, in a playful way is funny. So are the Orions actually descended from scorpions instead of humans? That's interesting. I don't know. That would be different. I don't think so, though. I don't really look in the sectoid. But yeah. So that was the review of sort of a rundown of. These have all been rundowns, really. Anyway, so that was a episode. Lord X. So.